Hey everybody, Paul Shepard here at Phil Ho's shop, shooting video number 6 in the Rigging 101 series. Phil asked me to come out and do a guest spot. Super honored and humbled to do that. As for probably many other of you watching this video, Phil has been an instrumental teacher for me for rigging over the years, so glad to be a part of this. We're practicing social distancing even here in the shop. And that's what we got to do now. That's our PPE, is practicing social distancing, not gathering in groups, and only doing the essentials like shopping and so forth. So today my video is going to be about what to do if you go to operate a chain hoist and it doesn't respond. The checklist that a rigger goes through in their head to try to determine what the cause of the hoist not responding is. So we'll start off. The first and most common reason, or very common reason, is going to be that the hoist isn't plugged in. I go to plug in my pickle to operate the hoist, hit a button, and it doesn't work. So first thing I want to check off is the hoist plugged in? So it wasn't plugged in, so now I'm going to go ahead, plug it in, and then see if the hoist works at this point. And again, the hoist is not working at this point. So we're going to go ahead and trace this cable back to the distro to see if the hoist cable is plugged in. It appears that it is plugged in. Okay, so next on the list is going to be checking to see, is the kill switch engaged? That time it was the kill switch was engaged. Now we're going to try it again. It's still not working. Okay, so we go down the checklist. What's next? Go back to the distro, and we're going to see, are the breakers on? And in this case, this breaker was not on. So now the hoist works at this point. But if at that point the hoist didn't work, there's still more that we could do. So if the hoist doesn't work and you've got the breakers on, the cable's plugged in, and the kill switch is engaged, another thing it could be is if the kill switch is not engaged and the contact button is engaged, then it may not work. Or then I want to check to see if it's plugged in at the distro. And if it's not plugged in at the distro, I plug it in. The next thing down the list is going to be checking the kill switch. Is the kill switch on? If the kill switch is on, it'll stop the motor from working. So if I hit the kill switch and then operate the motor, then it'll work. But sometimes it still doesn't work at that point. So another thing you can check was the breaker on. If the breaker's not on for this port in the distro, then you want to turn the breaker on because it won't work if the breaker's not on. So the next thing is the contact enabler. So if the pendant's not plugged in, then the hoist won't work. But it can still work with the Motion Lab distro if you have the contact enabled. So so at this point, we've pretty much established that all the different components of our system are being used correctly. We went to the source. It has power. It has the breaker on. We want to establish that the 50 amp is fully turned. If it's only partially turned, sometimes it won't get enough power to operate the hoist. We've checked the breakers. The motor cable is plugged in both to the distro and to the motor. So we've established that all the components in the system work. Now we want to eliminate things like you want to eliminate, is it a bad cable, is it a bad hoist, or is it a bad distro, or is it a bad distro port? One way we can check that would be by plugging the same cable into another port in the distro. If the hoist wasn't operating in port 2, but it does operate in port 4, then we've established that we have a bad port. Now, if it still doesn't operate in the other port, then it might be a bad cable. A quick way to check before you go run another 150-foot cable would be to take another motor cable from a nearby motor, plug it into the hoist, and see if this hoist runs off of that cable. And if it doesn't run off of that cable, then we've pretty much established that the hoist doesn't work. And at this point, you want to go to your head rigger and ask them if you should replace that motor. And you can run through the checklist with them, and maybe they'll spot something you didn't see. So thanks for joining us for another installment of Rigging 101. I'm going to go out to my car and sanitize my hands with hand sanitizer. And then I'm going to take some Lysol wipes and wipe down my steering wheel and my keys, my door handles, so that when I go home and hug my kids, I'm not worried about them getting infected. kind of weird time we're living in right now. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Thanks for coming out.
Perfect.